We were in a group of three, skiing just off the back of Cyprus in an area called Christmas Gully. And I was middleman, and dense fog. Our order got a little skewed through the dense fog. I had turned into last man unknowingly, and looking for who I thought was the last man back up through the fog. He never came. Instead was a little wave of snow that actually took my legs out, dragged me uphill and over the next exposure. And while this was all happening, I was just thinking like, wow, this is how this occurs. Like, we'd already skied that pitch twice. Nothing had moved. It was like -8 degrees, 40 centimeters of fresh. We'd done all our tests, and that's just how unpredictable snow conditions are. It literally took me into a terrain trap, sliding down, and I was kind of in like a 3/4 position, being pulled down the hill, and I was trying to kick my skis off. Couldn't get them. And I saw a tree that I was 100% going to impact. And I knew in my head that if I'd stayed in this position, the way I was sliding towards the tree, I would have hit my head and I'd be dead 100%. And
so how much speed you had?
I have no clue. Like at time, it seems like slow-mo.
It's like your speed, but also the momentum of the avalanche pushing you, right? Also weight.
And the weight of the snow that you're in. You go from 180-pound human with ski equipment on to now you're part of this hundreds of pounds of snow that's all coming down on itself. And so there's no slowing down. Like I grabbed onto a tree branch, like when I first got taken over the exposure, and been biking for almost 3 decades. Like you have good hand strength I can definitely support myself with one arm holding onto something, and ripped it out of my hand like nothing. And I was able to dig the heels of the skis in to slow down enough to turn my body 90 degrees. So at least I wasn't going to impact my upper body on this tree. And I just braced for impact while I was being carried in this little wave, and hit the tree, tried to wrap my arms around my head to give myself a air pocket in case I got fully covered. And I was buried nearly up to my nipples, but luckily I was in a seated position, and I didn't know any damage had occurred yet. Like, I was in complete shock. And I tried to yell for my group. I knew exactly where our meet point was. That was about 200 meters away, I'd say, but it was through this tree island. And with the new snow and everything, it's just swallowing any noise. So I'm yelling, not getting any feedback. And I started digging out to have a look at my leg, make sure I was all good, find my skis. And my leg wasn't there. My leg was not next to the tree at all. And I was like, all right. Started digging back, and I saw this bend in my pants. And I was just like, holy, if that is my knee, my riding career is done. That's everything torn. And so I started following the bend in my pants, and I saw another bend. And I grabbed it, and I was like, that's my knee. That's good. That means this is bone. And I went into full medical mode at this point. And I started following it, dug it out, and now it's occurring to me that my right boot is in my left armpit. And I'm like, oh my God.
I've listened to that story twice, because you also told the story at North Canva, and I just still...
It's nuts, man. And like I was locked in. I felt like I was working on someone else. And I grabbed my boot out of my left armpit, and I brought it back to straight, and there was zero resistance. And I was just like, I detonated this thing. Like I need to make sure that my femoral artery's not severed or nicked or anything. You'd have like 10 minutes, and then you'd be dead.
Yeah.
And so I got the snow off my lap, I undid my pants, and I started feeling around inside for any signs of blood. Nothing. No blood whatsoever. So I started trying to feel for pooling, any soft bumps, only hard ones. And I was like, is that bone? Like, what? Like, am I going to keep my leg? No clue what's going on. I'm just like, okay, I'm not bleeding out. I'm not going to die right now. And in this moment, I'm thinking, I'm like, the one promise I made to my wife about skiing is I wouldn't die in an avalanche. And if I do, she's going to fucking kill me.
Yeah.
So I'm like, honestly, I'm going to do whatever it takes not to die today. And I dig out the rest of my left leg. Still have my ski on that one. It's good to go. So I reach over, punch the ski off, and I make the decision that I need to get down and get line of sight contact with my party. And so I turn my body.
There's no what there was cell phone service?
Minimal. And at this time, I'm like, time is of the essence. Like thinking where I am right now, even if I get contact, I'm sitting on a steep slope under a tree canopy. They're not going to risk skiing down on me, possibly triggering another slide. If they come in, they're going to have difficulty getting through the canopy. It's steep. There's no staging area or anything. And how long will that take? And it's -8 degrees. Time is of the essence. Like days are short. It's winter. And so I decide exactly. So I decide I need to get myself down to get line of sight to call search and rescue. So I turn my body 9 degrees, bring my leg along with me, and I start passing myself down from branch to branch to branch through the tree line. And I get to the bottom of the tree line, and it's about 40-degree slope for about 80 feet, 100 feet kind of thing. And I was just like, I need to get down. I need to get down now before the pain gets in. And I literally take a second to put my goggles on, holding onto a tree. I'm like, and I just rolled myself backwards. Out to the flat bottom. Boom. And I'm now on my stomach. I feel a slam on my back, and that's my leg. And I take that leg off my back, and I have line of sight with my crew now. And they're about still like 120, 150 meters away. And they're like, you all good? And I was just like, my leg is broken. Call a helicopter. And they think I'm kidding. And they're like, we'll come help you find your skis. And I was just like, this is real life. Call a bleeping helicopter. And I see them both take out their phones, immediately on with 911 that transfers you to search and rescue. And that's good for everybody to know because a lot of people don't know how to call search and rescue. Just 911. Do it. It's free. They're more than happy to get you out of there. Just do it. And now that I'm at the bottom, they're on the phones. It took them about 45 minutes to get to me just because it was steep snow. And I dragged myself as far as away I could, away from the hill. Pain's starting to come in. I tried to make a little snow bench with my leg on it, and I buried it in snow to try and keep the pain down, just to numb it. And by the time they got up to me, like, I am now a little bit sweaty. It's cold, and the helicopter can't get in because of the dense fog. So we were there for about 3.5 hours before the bird could get in. And it was about 3:15, 3:30, like getting late in the day for winter. And finally, there's a break in the fog. A helicopter got in. And from what I believe as well, is it was the one day that they had lent out or had their actual long line winch getting repaired, or I don't know if it was on lease or not. So they had to do the long line. So they had to fly back and forth to like get eyes on, see if they can get in, then go rip back, throw the long line on, then again, bump in.
Which, by the way, if you want to see some of the rescue, it's actually be filmed because it was on an episode of North Shore Rescue.
North Shore Rescue.
Which I've watched. It's on a channel called
The Knowledge Network.
The Knowledge Network. Great show, and that follows the episode of the different search and rescue happening on the Sea to Sky corridor, anywhere from Vancouver all the way to Whistler. Mountain biking accident, hikers getting lost, and professional mountain biker getting buried in an avalanche.
Trying to ski.
trying to ski.
Yeah.
And I knew it was Geoff. He had told me about it, but I really encourage you to watch the show. It's free, and that is going to give you even a greater appreciation for search and rescue.
Yeah, these people are volunteers. They're doctors. They're avid outdoors people, and they're volunteering their time. And the fact that they don't make a dime from this, they get a couple cool jackets and things like that, I think, perhaps. But yeah, the fact that they volunteer their time to save idiots like us, I have nothing but praise and support and thanks for everything. I'd probably be pretty dicked if you guys weren't there.
So the helicopter finally comes in. Do they long line you out?
Yeah, the first guy off. I thought he looked like the guy that I had helped with a rescue months back on Cyprus as well. It was a bike crash that I was present for, and I called search and rescue, and they were too funny. The first guy off the line was just like, "Gully, what's up?" I was just like, head's good, back's good, circulation is fine, breathing fine, femur is dusted. He's just like, "Yep, have you ever tried ketamine?" I'm like, no. What better time than now? And they gave me the green whistle, and he's like, "Breathe on this as much as you can." And it was crazy. Just all the pain subsided, and they threw me into the red bag. It's like a duffel bag that they pump up, and it turns into a spine board.
Yep.
And they throw you in there, threw heating bags on me and everything to keep me warm, because 3.5 hours in -8 with just your buddies trying to keep you warm.
No.
It's like they're getting cold too. So, and at this time, like, we'd begun strapping skis together to make a sled to get out, because we're like, are they going to get in here before it gets dark? But yeah, they got me out of there. Long story short, now femur was in like 17 pieces, just full detonation. And Dr. Adam Sidke put a surgical pin down there. I think there's 6 screws in there, but they don't even touch the actual fracture point anymore. Like they open up here, they send the rod all the way down through your hip. Then they tack it up. They don't want to risk infection by opening the actual fracture point. So, and it's different too. It's different everywhere in the world. Like I talked to Tom Eisted when was it Tom or another fella who did their femur, and they opened up right at that point and went to work there.
Yeah, every injury is so different.
Exactly. And so after that, it was 16 weeks of no weight bearing. And I was obviously useless for a hot minute, but with the time on my hands, I began learning Spanish with working with Orbea. And then I took on some ambassador coordination responsibilities to fill my time. And now, 2 years later, it's segued into an actual job. So, growing up.
Something came out positive of that.
Exactly. I mean, we're fully functional. We're back to 100%. So,
I've seen you ride, yeah.
Yeah.
You seem back to 100%.
We Gucci.
Do you still ski?
Oh, yeah.
What's your favorite ski at the moment?
I am running the Atomic Backland 107, I believe, and it's unbelievable. Great touring ski, nice and light. Got out for a couple tours this year. For some reason, my wife didn't let me tour last year.
Why?
Yeah, I don't know. It's the craziest thing, but yeah, I do enough sports, and yeah, I mean, if she's going to take a little thing away, I fully respect it due to the outcomes we've seen before now. So yeah, she's just looking out. She wants to keep me around, and I got to appreciate that.